Support for the program Humanize, Newcomers was provided in part by Rose Community Foundation and viewers like you.
My name is Sonia O'Leary, and I'm the chair of ambulatory pediatrics and school and community programs at Denver Health. I've been at Denver Health for about 15 years, but you can add 4 more if you add my residency. I was actually born in Bogota, Colombia, and actually immigrated to this country myself when I was just 9 months old. Did most of my growing up in California, and then found my spouse and married him and stayed. I've always known I wanted to be a doctor since I was little. My father is a doctor as well. When I was in medical school, I thought I was going to be an OBGYN, but ended up loving pediatrics, a lot because of the kids, but also the families. You take care of the entire family. And so when I was choosing my residency, one of the reasons I wanted to go to Denver was because of their affiliation with Denver Health and the patients that they see. And so I ended up doing my continuity clinic at Westside Pediatrics, which is on Federal and 11th, where we see, at that time, we saw a lot of patients who were newly immigrated. I speak Spanish, and so I got a lot of Spanish-speaking patients. And for me, that's always kind of been my compass, because even though, you know, I have lived in this country for many years, the majority of my family still lives in Colombia. And so I feel like I have a kinship with a lot of these families, wherever they come from in Central and South America. I think of Denver Health as like a really integrated system of care. You know, we have the hospital, inpatient, the emergency room, operate, but then we have all these community clinics and school-based health centers that surround the Denver metro area, and our mission is really to take care of the underserved and the uninsured. And so we never turn anyone away. We've been taking care of migrants for many years. With the recent migration, and I think we call them newcomers, from especially Venezuela and Colombia and Mexico, you know, from all those areas that are having a lot of economic instability, we've just taken them in like we usually do in terms of from my standpoint, trying to get those kids into care so that 1, they can grow up healthy, 2, get their immunizations, but then most importantly, be ready to go to school and be able to learn. And so with this population, we have kids who haven't been in school for years sometimes because they've been traveling and have been on foot and, you know, crossing the Darien Strait, crossing Central America. And so our objective is to try to make things as normalized as possible so that they can get into school with the hope that they can get the education that they need to succeed, because at the end of the day, that's really why their families brought them here. I think what's been different about these newcomers is just how much they really have nothing, truly nothing. I think it's been hard on our clinical teams because, you know, we're giving kids 6 shots every time they come in, sometimes 7, 8, to get them caught up for school, or even just little babies getting them caught up for their immunizations. And I think what's hard on our team are things like, I can't afford Tylenol, right? So our teams, our medical assistants, our, you know, front desk staff pooled money together so that they can give, you know, Tylenol to a family so that they're able to go home and not be so fussy because they just got so many vaccines. It's been hard also because usually I feel that we're able to give families resources for housing, for food, for whatever they need, but the need has been so has been so much and so fast and so quick that I feel that some of us feel like we're just not doing enough, we're not adequate enough providing all those services that those kids need because it's just too hard. There's so many of them right now. We have a wonderful social work team, integrated behavioral health team. We all work together very well, a dental team. And so to continue to use your resources and at the end of the day know you did as much as you could, which sometimes doesn't help my team because they're so empathetic to the needs of the kids and the families, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic and everything that came with that, including medical providers and their own loss and their own symptoms and their own mental health. And so I think it's much more there and available for people to kind of bring up for themselves than it was in the past. But you have to, right? Because then you have to go back in the next day and see 24 more patients. My team's pretty incredible. I think that providing families with pathways to be able to earn money is going to be very important, especially for the families that are trying to stay in Denver, so that we're able to welcome them more and not make it, well, if we're going to pay for this, then we have to get rid of that, but make it more of like we're doing this for the collective good. I think that's what I think is important, and I think it's going to be super important for the kids especially to get the educational supports that they need. I mean, I have a 9-year-old in my clinic who hasn't learned how to read or write, right? Because he's never been in school. And so that kid is going to need a lot more support to be able to then, he himself be successful in the future. So it's not just this generation, but we also have to think about the next one coming up. When you talk about immigration, I think, Colorado has a rich history of immigrants coming in. I'm an immigrant myself, and so I'm acutely aware of perhaps differing opinions as to what immigration should look like. But I think it's important to have the stories and to be able to talk about it and listen. I don't think we do enough listening, especially when it comes to politics. A lot of the migrants right now are on the street corners. And so I think even engaging them in conversation might be something to start with, to kind of humanize the conversation again, especially those families that are out with their kids. Even just asking them about their kids, I think will be helpful for someone to say, now I know what I need to do, whether it's volunteering at a food bank, or let me see if Denver Health needs any volunteers to read to kids in the waiting room. I think just starting that conversation will help one to realize what they can do within their own sphere of influence.
My name is Jessica Buckley. I was born and raised in Denver. I'm the principal of Valdez Elementary. It is on 29th and Spear, Northwest Denver, near North High School. I've been in DPS my whole life, pretty much. I was a teacher for 11 years, and then I've been a school leader for 13 years. My dad is a teacher, and growing up, I promised that no matter what, I was not going to be a teacher. I would watch my dad do lots of, work in the evenings and do all of the things, and I said, this is never for me. I even have these letters that I wrote to myself all about how I'm not going to be a teacher. And then I went to college, and I was a sociology and psychology major, and learned pretty quickly there's not a lot you can do with those degrees. But always been really called to the social justice side, helping people, connecting with people. Ironically, I'm very good at math, so for a while I was going to be a math major, and then really figured out that I don't want to sit in front of a computer all the time. So really thinking about the balance of what could I do that would be connecting with people, helping people, and then contributing to the broader good, and really thinking about how do we make our world a better place and what matters, what really would have an impact. And there's where I think I truly do believe that if you educate kids, you give them options and you open up the world to them. So for me, it's really about creating opportunity for all kids. Valdez is a dual language school. So we start at 3 years old, go through 5th grade. Yeah, we start with the little ones. Our goal is that no matter what kids come in with, that they leave our school bilingual and biliterate in English and Spanish. So we have native English speakers, native Spanish speakers. We're all a big, beautiful mix. Some kids come in with lots of language skills, some kids come in with not as many, and we really work with kids where they are and really work on language and critical thinking. For us, it's about critical thinking too. Are we really teaching kids to be critical thinkers and be ready to do whatever they want to in the future? I think the first thing that's really special about Valdez is from the very beginning, we really opened our arms and really thought about how can we embrace this change. It has been an impact on us for sure this year. We've welcomed over 100 immigrant students. And we are a school of, we started the year with around 400 students and now we're over 500 students. So, you know, there's a math problem, do the percentage on that. We've increased by quite a lot. So it has had a major impact on our school. And it's been really up and down. I'll be honest, it hasn't been easy necessarily, but we started from the very beginning of really thinking about how can we welcome and then truly support the kids and families, and how can we shift and shift again and shift again and advocate for resources and get resources and then really wrap around kids and families so it makes a difference. And also so our students who have been at Valdez for a while or currently there this year who started the year with us, so it would be a positive impact and not a huge negative impact or a huge challenge for our kids, but that it really would be something that was life-changing in a good way. The majority of our staff speak Spanish, are bilingual or more Spanish dominant. So in that sense, our school is a great school for our migrant population to be, because we can speak with kids, we can interact with kids, that is all natural, we can speak with families directly, we can really support families and kids. So that part felt really smooth. The challenge, and this is true about our kids anyway, our students anyway, is immigrant students come in with all sorts of strengths and challenges, and really a wide range. So we, for example, had a couple of fourth graders who really literally didn't know how to write their name. We had other, fifth graders who maybe were about a grade level behind in their schooling. We have first, second graders who hadn't been in school before, and then others who fit really well with the rest of our kids and were just fine. So for us, the challenge from the beginning was really thinking about getting to know kids and what their strengths are and who they are, not making assumptions about it, but really knowing individual kids, and then really thinking about how we can meet their needs. Are they okay in the classroom with everybody else and just part of the community? Do we need to pull them out at different times of the day to really meet their individual needs? And so that's the structure that we've really gone to, is figuring out who's okay and who's really supported in the classroom, and then who we need to pull out more to meet some of those more intense needs. We're a public school. I don't know, are we ever resources enough? That has been a challenge over the year. Most of our immigrant students started coming in October. We got a really big surge. So October, November, we were, really big surge of students. And then again in January, another big surge. And actually we're seeing another bubble right now. In terms of school funding, school budgets and school funding happens in September for Denver. So that was a huge challenge for us. So we did a lot of advocacy, a lot of scrambling for resources. And has there been enough? No. Were we able to get some to really be able to support kids? Yes. So we're in a much better place for that. It's not perfect. It's not ideal in a lot of senses. We have very full classes, and that's been really challenging. It's been really challenging to support teachers and really thinking about, what do teachers need to be able to really serve our kids? So we've done a lot with that too. These students have gone through incredible journeys to get here. Stories that you don't want to tell again, or that worse than we can imagine in lots of ways. And so yes, the incredible emotional support and challenges. It's interesting, the very first thing we do is really think about just the stability and safety. They know we are a place where we'll care for them and that they will be safe and that we will provide all of their basic needs. And so there is almost a honeymoon period where the kids are adjusting to us and getting to know us and really connecting with us, and then it flattens out for a while. And now what we're starting to see is all of the emotional needs start to really bubble up. And so that's an area where as a school, it's been really hard to really wrap around what kids need, because most of them have experienced literally seeing people die in front of them or seen various things in the river as they were walking by, or like really, really traumatic, deep things that are hard to even imagine. And so us as a school, we are just kind of surface level of starting to uncover some of those pieces and really helping kids process. We do have a full-time school psychologist who's amazing. She's bilingual and can support them and has done some group work and some individual needs. And right now what we're really working on is reaching out and figuring out what mental health support we can get for next year. It's really been this process of, oh, now I'm here, I'm safe, it feels more stable. So kids will show up and then they're just gone. Kids are here for a few weeks, gone for a week, back for a few days, gone for a couple of days. Yeah, that has been really up and down. Some kids have been very consistent. Some families have been able to find some housing that's either in our neighborhood or we've been providing transportation, so they're able to continue to go to Valdez and have that stability through the end of the school year. And so they've been more consistent. It just really depends on the family. But yes, some kids have shown up for a couple days and then we never see them again. It's the job of DPS to take care of all kids. We are called first to care. And really understand and get to know kids. When you have a family or kids at your doorstep, that to me is the call, and the rest of it almost doesn't matter or becomes really clear because the child or the children are physically there and need your support, need my support, need our support, and so that's what we do. We attend to the kids. And to me, that is the hope for the future, that if we are able to care for and attend and support and educate kids, we give them the tools and the power to then support and create a better world for all.
Mi nombre es Antonella Shalit. Muchas personas me dicen Valentina. Tengo 15 años y soy de Venezuela. Estoy estudiando en la high school, en Cherry Creek. Estamos viviendo en un apartamento desde hace 1 año y 4 meses más o menos. Pues no teníamos familia aquí, realmente no tenemos familia acá. Pero decidimos quedarnos aquí porque fue hasta donde nos alcanzó el dinero para llegar. Y luego encontramos la fundación de Vive y nos quedamos ahí un par de meses y luego fue que pudimos obtener como un apartamento. Tenemos DPS y ya nos llegó hace como unas semanas, así que estamos bien. Somos 7 en total, pero ahorita estamos solo 4. Mi mamá, mi hermana, mi hermano, mi sobrinito y mi cuñado. Siento que ellos tienen menos esperanzas como nosotros, ya que ellos tienen como más edad, menos oportunidades. Y cuando llegas aquí siendo más grande, tipo no puedes estudiar o hacer otras cosas que nosotros sí podemos hacer. Y bueno, creo que eso sería, pero siento que sí podrían lograr varios objetivos. Pues como lo dijiste, este viaje sí es muy difícil. Muchas personas no están preparadas para viajar y, por ejemplo, mi familia y yo no estábamos preparados para viajar. Pero lo que te puedo contar del viaje es que muchas veces no van a salir las cosas bien, pero vas a poder llegar, ¿sabes? Cada país es más difícil aún, pero siento que tiene como su recompensa al llegar aquí. La mayor parte del tiempo fue caminando. Duramos como 2 a 3 meses viajando. Y sí estamos muy bien acá en Denver. Es como una ciudad pequeña, pero tiene muchas como muchas cosas interesantes, muchos lugares al que visitar, como las montañas. Y sí, estamos muy bien aquí. Ay, sí, es terrible el frío. Puede que un día haga mucho calor, pero al siguiente día hace demasiado frío. Nos estamos acostumbrando realmente. Es difícil, pero nos estamos acostumbrando a eso. Cuando yo llegué y me instalé en un colegio llamado Bruce Randolph, el primer día que fui estaba nerviosa. Había escuchado muchas cosas sobre cómo los chicos son malos, te van a hacer bullying. Y yo tenía miedo, pero me recibieron muy bien, fueron muy buenas personas conmigo. Luego pasé a la escuela en la que estoy ahora y pues he estado bien, no está tan mal la escuela.
¿Y los colegios son diferentes?
Son diferentes. En Bruce Randolph hay más gente mexicana que habla inglés y español. En la que estoy ahora solamente hay personas de acá que solamente hablan inglés. Es más difícil allá, pero puedes aprender más de ellos. Siento que si te dedicas a aprender inglés, lo vas a poder lograr. Yo conozco a personas que han aprendido inglés en un año y 5 meses. Hay otras que duran hasta 2, pero siento que hay personas que pueden durar mucho menos y aprender más. Siento que aquí hay muchas oportunidades, pero también este país es muy rápido. Si te detienes por un segundo, ya pasaron 2, 3 años. Pero sí hay oportunidades acá de poder lograr, por ejemplo, yo pienso ser pediatra en un tiempo más allá. Y siento que sí lo puedo lograr. Si me esfuerzo y me dedico a eso, sí lo puedo lograr. Me gustan los niños, siento que puedo convivir con ellos, ayudarlos, y me gusta ayudar personas, y siento que ese sería un buen mérito para mí. Creo que el consejo sería que nos ayudaran más, no económicamente, no, sino que hay personas que saben menos, como las más adultas. Aquí se les hace difícil la tecnología, agarrar buses. Y las personas a veces ven que ocupamos ayuda y solamente se abren, cuando pienso que deberían como ayudarnos, mostrarnos un poco más de su cultura para nosotros poder integrarnos, porque es difícil integrarse en un nuevo país, en una nueva ciudad, nuevas personas. Y siento que eso sería una ayuda. La cultura de allá es un poco más abierta. Como dijiste, un barrio es como una familia, todos nos conocemos. De que, oh no, voy allá un momento y ya saben dónde vamos a estar. Allá somos como más unidos y es algo que aquí es muy diferente. Aquí somos más cerrados, todas las personas están ocupadas haciendo lo que deben hacer. No siempre, pero la mayor parte del tiempo las personas pasan trabajando, ocupadas. Y hay pocas veces en las que tienen tiempos libres, en las que pueden hacer otro tipo de actividades. Es algo muy diferente porque allá la mayor parte del tiempo tenemos más tiempo para hacer actividades y hacer otras cosas como trabajar, estudiar y así. Tengo amistades sí allí, pero son más latinos que personas que nacen acá, porque no me puedo comunicar mucho con ellos, aunque ya he avanzado mucho en el inglés. Me da aún como ese nervio de que sepan o me vayan a decir algo que yo no entiendo y como que me vayan a juzgar. Entonces paso más tiempo con latinos, o bueno, mi familia. Al inicio, cuando no hablaba nada de inglés, sí era difícil, me sentía muy encerrada porque yo quería hablar con esas personas y como que yo pensaba ¿qué puedo decir? Pero ahora creo que ya está un poco más abierta la puerta a poder comunicarme más con ellos. Aunque a veces me detengo por un momento, digo, ok, ya no puedo porque se me va a olvidar algo, me van a preguntar algo y ya está ahí, llego. Yo hace como unas semanas estaba con una persona india y yo no sabía qué decirle y yo le hacía señas y él me entendía y yo lo entendía a él. Entonces yo creo que sí, depende de encontrar la forma en la comunicarse. Yo pienso que ha sido cuando estamos en la nieve, ya que ellos no conocen la nieve. Esa ha sido una de las experiencias que les he contado de que, oigan, se ve muy lindo, pero es muy frío. Entonces ellos se quedan no, yo quiero conocer la nieve. Yo les digo, no quieren conocer la nieve. Yo creo que este mensaje iría a las personas que están en Latinoamérica de que hay personas que no tienen una estabilidad económica muy buena o muchas cosas así. Y aunque ellos no estén preparados aún para viajar, siento que vale la pena esforzarse, obtener una mejor calidad de vida acá, un mejor estudio, conocer personas nuevas, aprender un nuevo idioma. Todas esas cosas valen la pena. Entonces yo pienso que ellos deberían venir acá, arriesgarse, pero ganar al final. Yo pienso que pasé muchas cosas como para devolverme ahora, y que si llegué aquí es para ganar, es para alcanzar todas mis metas, objetivos y al final quedarme aquí realmente, porque siento que este es un espacio y un país bueno y saludable para mí, para mi familia y quizás para los hijos que tenga más adelante. Sí.
We hope Humanize stories of immigrants moved and inspired you. Turn that feeling into support for PBS 12. Your donation helps us share more stories celebrating Colorado's diverse community. Learn more at pbs12.org/donate.